Coming up, Bluffton High School Principal Mark Dievendorf gives us a peek at the overcrowding situation in Bluffton schools, and we'll also meet the president of our local Elks Lodge. Welcome to the Bluffton News. I'm Anneliza Itkor, and these are Bluffton's current headlines. 471 runners descended upon Palmetto Bluff for a half marathon that is hoped to become an annual event. Ben Vout, a 31-year-old Bluffton resident, was the overall winner of the inaugural event. He completed the 13.1-mile course in 1 hour, 17 minutes and 15.81 seconds, more than 2 minutes faster than his closest competitor. Brian Knapp and William Talent finished second and third, followed by Bluffton High senior Josh Tierney. Rachel Ditto, a sophomore cross-country runner at Kentucky's Georgetown College, was the women's first-place winner. During a two-day planning session outlining immediate and long-term goals, Bluffton officials chose to follow Beaufort County's lead by endorsing raising property tax levels to maintain the same revenue next year. Economic development and building the town's commercial tax base were topics that dominated much of the two-day meeting at the Bluffton Law Enforcement Center. The plan, which will continue to be developed by staff and elected officials, won't likely go for a vote in town council until May. Wind and cold temperatures created less than ideal conditions for the Colleton River Collegiate at the Plantation's Die course. All four participating teams struggled last Wednesday before play was shortened from 36 to 18 holes due to heavy winds. Weather was a bit calmer for the final two rounds on Thursday, and Penn State took the team title with a 9-16, finishing 11 shots ahead of Michigan and Michigan State, who tied for second. Detroit finished in fourth position. Michigan State senior Matthew Mosley was the individual winner, triumphing in a tiebreaker over teammate Gareth Blees and Penn State's Chris Houston. Plans are in the works to expand the tournament next year. And 535 hunters registered to take shots at wild hogs, coyotes, and armadillos in South Carolina in the first week of legal night hunting for these non-native animals that damage forests and gardens and attack and frighten livestock. Night hunting of these nocturnal creatures was legalized last year as complaints of property and livestock destruction rose. To make the hunt easier, the legislation allows for the use of bait, electronic calls, and night vision devices. Night hunting began the last day of February and continues to July 1st. While licensed hunters don't need to apply for permits, they must notify the Department of Natural Resources 48 hours before they plan to hunt on specific properties to help law enforcement officers react to complaints of gunfire noise after dark. And here's what's happening around the state. The Diocese of Charleston has placed a priest on administrative leave after someone made an allegation of sexual misconduct against him. Church officials said they are cooperating fully with investigators reviewing the allegation against Father Hayden Vaverick. According to authorities, someone went to police last week and said the priest assaulted the person about 15 years ago when Vaverick was pastor at Our Lady of Lourdes in Greenwood. During his career, Vaverick has also served in parishes and schools in Greenville, Simpsonville, Anderson, McCormick, Myrtle Beach, Garden City, Moncks Corner, Bonneau, and Hilton Head Island. Vaverick was in Rome when the allegation was made and has not been interviewed. 46-year-old John Mitchell has been arrested in the killing of another man in his Hartsville apartment. Mitchell has been charged with murder and larceny. 51-year-old Chandler Spencer's family found him dead in his apartment on March 4th. Investigators haven't said how he was killed. Authorities have not given a motive for Spencer's slaying or how the suspect might have known the victim. A high-speed chase through two counties ended with 2 patrol cars and 2 other vehicles wrecked, but no serious injuries. The chase began Saturday afternoon in Sumter County and continued up Interstate 95 into Florence County. The chase ended several miles east of I-95 in Florence when Antonio Morrissey's car hit another vehicle and ran through a fence into a backyard. 2 patrol cars were also damaged during the chase. Troopers are trying to determine why Morrissey didn't stop for the officers. He's charged with reckless driving, possession of a stolen vehicle, driving without a license, property damage, and failure to stop for a blue light. The Village Repertory Company's production of The Whipping Man has been taking Charleston by storm. The play's unusual post-Civil War story, which takes a look at a Jewish Confederate soldier and two former slaves who were raised as Jews in his household, has been intriguing audiences and critics alike. The Whipping Man, which won the 2011 John Gassner Playwriting Award by the New York Outer Critics Circle, was a great fit for the Village Rep as they focus on new works set in a unique environment. The work, starring Michael Burgess, runs through March 16th. For more information on these headlines and more, please check out the media sources you see listed on your screen. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Coming up, Lynne Hummell of the Bluffton Sun has an insider's view of what's making news as the Bluffton News brings you hot off the presses, and Shellie West-Hodges brings us the Bluffton Business Report.
The smoked chipotle burrito is really good.
Yeah, my zesty cheesesteak burrito's great.
Are you familiar, Pete, with the phrase, don't mess with success?
Yeah.
Because this is not only messing with success, this is taking success to the cliff and shoving success over.
Success said, oh, please, don't do anything. Leave me alone.
These burritos didn't even hear that. They heard, oh, put, and that was it. It was just like, wah. Egg everywhere.
Wake up to sirloin steak and fluffy eggs with the new zesty cheesesteak and smoked chipotle breakfast burritos. This is how you Sonic.
Welcome back to the Bluffton News. Today on Hot Off the Presses, Lynne Hummell joins us from the Bluffton Sun. So Lynne, the Wharf Street houses, we finally have some great news.
Yes, we do. It appears that all 6 of the homes in the Wharf Street development project have been sold. At a lottery last week, 2 more applicants selected the remaining 2 homes. Currently 2 are occupied, 1 has a sale pending, and another potential owner is trying to finalize financing. And these last 2 buyers will be working with the town staff toward the next step, which is the purchase contract.
Now, I have to ask, why has progress been so slow?
Well, it did start off kind of slow. They had trouble finding applicants at first, and it could be that the approval process slowed down a lot of folks. 68 people ended up applying, but many of them dropped out along the way, perhaps because they didn't meet the financial requirements of the lower income. But the process also included background checks and credit checks and a first-time home buyers class, all of which takes a little bit of time.
Well, it seems like it's been a very decisive week for Bluffton because apparently the Board of Education has made some decisions on the middle school overcrowding situation.
Well, they sort of made a decision not to decide yet.
Okay.
In a close 6-5 vote, the board decided not to make a decision even after the Bluffton Community Committee presented its recommendations last week. The committee suggested installing portable classrooms at Bluffton High and moving the 9th graders over there for this fall, which would have returned both Bluffton Middle and H.E. McCracken back to traditional 6th to 8th grade middle schools. But the board wants to wait until an April 2-day work session that is likely to include the new superintendent, Jeffrey Moss, and discussion then will center on a longer-term strategic plan for all the schools.
Well, it makes sense to have his input.
Absolutely.
All right, so the Graves property on Highway 278, this has been in the news for a couple of years now. What's going on with that?
That's right. The Beaufort County Planning Commission has approved a rezoning request that has been in contention for more than a decade, actually. The change will affect 113 acres on the Graves family property in Greater Bluffton that is on Highway 278 near Highway 170 and runs along the Ocoee River. The approval will allow for more residential and commercial development at Pepper Hall Plantation. The compromises have been made by the family over the past years, including caps on commercial square footage.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how that land gets developed. Is there a time frame yet?
Well, the rezoning plan and the request will go on to County Council for review. However, the county's long-range planner, Robert Merchant, pointed out that the county is opposed to this plan, citing concerns of stormwater runoff into the Ocoee River.
All right. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Lynne, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Anneliza.
We're going to head on out to Shellie West-Hodges now. She's going to take us inside the very first Bluffton Women's Business Expo.
Hi, I'm here today at Ebenezer Church for Bluffton's very first Women Business Expo, and there are a lot of activities, fashion show, a lot of vendors, and a very great turnout for a beautiful day here in Bluffton. What a great event here today out in the Bluffton community. Here with me is Patricia Lopez Rosado and her husband, Pastor Rosado. Patricia, tell us a little bit about this event and why you all decided to put this on for our community.
A year ago, we had a meeting with many women here, and they had the wish to grow up and start some business. And so we started thinking about this that day, and we have here like more than 200 women, and they want to grow up, to development, start some business. So that was the reason to start this.
Well, what a great event, and what a great thing to really highlight what women really do out there in our community, and they need some recognition as well. Pastor, tell us a little bit about why y'all decided, why you're actually having it here at Ebenezer Church.
Well, we have a big group of women here in the church, Hispanic, and they want to go into business. So I think it's a great idea to do this kind of activity. And my wife, she deals a lot with women, so yeah. I just open my heart and I want to work with them and help them out.
Well, we appreciate you having this event. And this event was actually for anybody in the community, really, that are in business or really wanted to participate. So this is a great community outreach for others, not just Hispanic, but also other folks in our community. So that was, it's an international affair. Yeah. So thank you both. It was a great event, and we look forward to the next one next year. And that's back to you.
Thanks so much, Shellie. When we return, we're going to take a look at the Bluffton Community Committee and the decisions that they're making in terms of the overcrowding schools. And we're also going to find out all about our local Elks chapter. It's all right here on the Bluffton News.
Tara's Men's Den, located beside Tara's Salon at the Moss Creek Village, is a full-service salon for men only. Open Monday through Saturday from 9:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. We offer haircuts, color, highlights, waxing, and treatments for hair loss. No appointment necessary, so come enjoy a relaxing atmosphere for men only, and don't forget senior discounts every Wednesday. Call or visit us today. Our number is 843-837-5555.
Welcome back to the Bluffton News. I am very pleased to welcome Mark Dievendorf. He's the principal of Bluffton High School. And Mark, we're here today specifically to talk about the Bluffton Community Committee and what you guys have been working on. What you got for us?
Well, we've had 27 members of the Bluffton community made up of school improvement council members from every school in the cluster, as well as community representatives and a Bluffton High School student. With the charge of from the school district to bring to the Board of Education short-term and long-term recommendations to address our enrollment growth. And we have presented our short-term recommendations to the Board of Education, and at this point in time, things are on hold as the Board of Education voted to delay further consideration until their April workshop.
Now, can you just give us some highlights of what's been going on within that meeting?
Sure. The committee has met for 8 weeks on every Thursday evening for about 2.5 hours to discuss and develop options to address the overcrowding at our middle schools and the possibilities for addressing that. And as a result of our collaborative efforts, we put forth some short-term recommendations and identified a variety of long-term options for further discussion in the future.
Now, I was talking to Lynne Hummell about this earlier, but I'm sure you can give us some more details. What did the Board of Education decide to do with some of your proposals?
Well, our initial charge was to bring a short-term recommendation to the Board of Education by the beginning of March, which we did. And at that point in time, the Board of Education decided to delay any further consideration until April, when they'll have a work session, hopefully, with the new superintendent at that point in time.
Okay. And where do things go from here?
Well, we'll be waiting until April to see where the Board of Education is. Unfortunately, the short-term recommendations that we brought to the Board of Education required some immediate action, and so the short-term recommendation that we brought forth appears not to be a viable option due to the wait until April.
Okay, well, it sounds like the community committee is working very hard trying to come up with some ideas, and I know that you're going to face this challenge with a positive attitude, so best of luck, and I hope that a conclusion is reached soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the update, Mark.
You're welcome.
I am very pleased to welcome Paul Ford, who is president of the Bluffton Elks Lodge 2773. We are so pleased to have you here today. Now, the Elks is an organization that it seems like we know the name, but we may not know that much about it. Start off by telling us a little bit about what the Elks do.
The Elks is about 150 years old. It was started in New York, and we got around 2,000 lodges countrywide and around 850,000 members countrywide. You have to be a U.S. citizen and believe in God to belong to the organization. And we have a new local lodge here in Bluffton at 23 Plantation Park Drive, again here in Bluffton.
Okay, now that gives us a good history of the Elks. What do the Elks do in terms of like participating in the community? First thing we very strong in is our veterans programs. We were the first to build a veterans hospital in Massachusetts after World War I. What we do here locally, we had a Christmas party at the Victory Home in Walterboro, which is for disabled veterans. And we go to Charleston a couple of times a year and visit with the veterans. We have an annual polka run for those who like to ride motorcycles. We work in conjunction with the Wounded Warriors Project. And we also have an annual golf tournament, which we raise money for the Wounded Warriors Project. That's great, and I'm actually familiar with their golf tournament. It's a wonderful, wonderful tournament. I also understand that the Elks are involved with helping students.
Yes, we are. What we've done here locally for the last few years, we provide every third grader in Beaufort County with a Webster Dictionary. We are second to the U.S. government for offering scholarships through our Elks National Foundation program.
All right, now, so we've got veterans, students, and then you're also involved directly with the community.
Yes, we've got food banks, and we're setting up a local food bank for the Bluffton area and things of that nature to help people with the homeless and the hungry and things like that on a local level. Also a local Alzheimer's project, which is our state project, which we raise money to help those who can't remember.
Well, it's clearly a very caring organization. Now, for those people who are new to the area or maybe are hearing about the Elks for the first time and have been intrigued by what you've been telling us, how do you become an Elks member?
The best thing to do is come by the lodge and either ask for me or ask for another lodge member there. And they'll give you a tour of the lodge and a little history of what we do. And like I said, you have to be an American citizen to belong. And then you go through a process of filling out an application, and then you're investigated by the investigating committee, and then you'll be sworn in. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks to go through the whole process.
Thank you so much. This has really been an education, and I'm sure that a lot of people are going to be interested in finding out more.
I thank you for having us. Thank you very much.
Okay, so it's a romantic dinner for two. Now, I've already cut some tomato. Time for the vinaigrette. You are gonna love this. Okay, we need some sesame seeds. My favorite pan. Now, what's really important is...
With Merillat cabinets, you'll discover function that's irresistible.
Good thing I'm not the jealous type.
Welcome back. Here to tell us all about what's coming up in the Bluffton area is our entertainment reporter, Kim Viljac.
Precious Lord, linger near when my life.
This is Kim Viljac with the Bluffton Entertainment Out and About Report. Today we're here in beautiful Old Town Bluffton with Ashley Feaster. She's in charge of the Low Country Home and Garden Show. Hey Ashley, it's so good to see you. Tell us what's going on this year.
Well, the Hilton Head Area Home Builders Association is putting on its 28th annual Low Country Home and Garden Show, sponsored by Low Country Paver. It's taking place March 22nd through 24th at the Buckwalter Rec Center. This is our second year of exhibitors, over 80, showing off things for your home. Flooring, landscape, hardscape, great ideas and inspiration for the average everyday homeowner who wants to do a little spring cleaning and spruce up their home.
Are you going to have other things besides the trade show part? Any kind of classes or how-tos?
Yes, we have a whole lineup of seminars and do-it-yourself workshops. Sherwin-Williams will be out teaching folks how to pick the right paint color. Matt Jordan, who's going to be cooking up some great food. And Corks here in Bluffton is coming out to do a little wine tasting to help you figure out how to pair wine with your summer soiree food. Very cool things.
That sounds great. Now tell us where it's located and the best way to get to it and about parking.
That is on Buckwalter Parkway, and it's across from McCracken Middle School. So if you're taking Bluffton Parkway to Buckwalter and you get to Hampton Hall, you make a left on Buckwalter and it's on the right-hand side about a mile down. And we have people directing traffic. We have a satellite lot over at Low Country Community Church, and we have Hilton Head Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram is going to be shuttling folks over to the show. So we've got a, it's going to be fun. Bring the kids. We have a kids zone. Lowe's is coming out and doing their Build and Grow clinic. We have a spring flower sale from Sunshine Nursery. Cahill's going to be cooking up an outdoor eatery there, so come get lunch and enjoy it. I mean, it's a great time.
It sounds great. Now, this is all complimentary. It's free. There's no charge to get in or for parking, right?
Right. Everything is free and open to the public. We have the Parade of Homes tour also going on. If you just come to the show, get the guide, you can go and tour over 30 different homes throughout the area. And if anybody wants to find out information about the show, www.lowcountryhomeandgardenshow.com. So,
well, that sounds great. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Hear my call.
Thanks for joining us for the news program that is all Bluffton all the time. I'm Anneliza Itkor for the Bluffton News. We'll see you next time.